today is the first day, and we will start with instructions. And after that, you will also give you some information about the Sukhita Yoga, and there may be a little bit of demonstration and basic instructions for the yoga. So I see that there are few people over here who have done our retreat in the past, and they know the process and know the kind of the meditation, but there may be a lot of us over here who may not know. So we will start with the instructions, but I'll just give you a general overall of the meditation also. So one thing I just like to say is that you may have done many different kinds of meditation or different kind of practices in the past. So all of them have given you certain amount of information, certain amount of skills. So those skills are all useful. So certain meditations will give you samatha, which is calming of the mind. Certain meditations are focused on vipassana, which is insights. But what we are going to teach you is samatha vipassana. They will have both the insight and the calming of the mind. So this meditation is a smiling meditation. So smile and be relaxed. One of the things Bhante Vimalam used to say is the acronym DROPS. So don't resist or push, soften and smile. So you have to take this meditation in a very light manner, in a manner of practice where you are given an example. Our teacher used to give an example. Bhante Vimalamsi is our teacher, and her student, Sister Khema. So I'll take those names again and again in during these 10 days, because they are our inspiration, they are our guides, and we have learned a lot from them. So they would be mentioned over here. So just for your information. So Bhante Vimalamsi used to say that take this meditation as a game. So if it does not happen in the first instance, then do it again. Do it again is the motto of a game. You know, you don't get frustrated. You don't leave it. You kind of attempt it again and again. If your one level is not going, you attempt it to go to the next level, to the next level. So this is the process of meditation. Second thing about the meditation is it's not about mind states. It is not about experiences. It is about you gaining insight and wisdom. So you knowing how it is working. How does your mind work? How does your attention work? So that does not mean that you should have some kind of experiences to know this. It is your understanding, you seeing your mind and knowing what is happening. If your mind is busy, you know this mind is busy. If your mind is calm, you know this mind is calm. It is not about having the experience, but it is about gaining insight into the things you normally don't have opportunity to learn. So that is how this meditation has been framed. So first thing you have to see is that even if you are having a painful meditation, that may kind of teach you something. That may teach you your relationship with the pain. That may teach you how you react when pain is there. If your mind is very calm, then you can learn from how your mind reacts with calmness. Sometimes having a calm mind means that you try to hold on to it, or you become fearful that I will lose this. So that is the relationship, and that is the information you gain. Not that the calmness is there, not that the busyness is there in the mind, not that the pain is there. That was not the point of the meditation. The point of the meditation is to learn. So when we are learning, what is the framework we put through which you are learning? That is to see how your mind's attention moves from one thing to another. The definition which is given of mindfulness is remembering to observe how your mind's attention moves from one thing to another. What is this one thing? This one thing can be anything. It can be breath, it can be something positive like metta. So this can be also called a Brahma Vihara meditation. So there are four mind states, which is loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. So they are called blameless states of mind. Buddha says that if you are in this mind states, even for a day, even for 2 days, even for day and night, you will not have any harm. So what is the harm in smiling? What is the harm in feeling love? What is the harm in having compassion? What is the harm in being joyful for others' success? So there is no harm in those mind states. So they can be considered as positive mind states and positive emotions. Now there are certain objects of meditation which are neutral, which is like breathing. But we are not using the breathing because we are giving you a technique which is very different from the other techniques, so that your habitual tendencies which are there gained from other meditations do not interfere. So we give you a completely different way of doing meditation. So you will be able to learn it better, and your habitual tendencies, your habits do not hinder you in your practice. So we give you an object where you have to put your attention. That attention, the object of your attention, is the love and kindness in your heart which you feel. Now, to feel that love and kindness in your heart, you may have to start, kick-start the process. So, if there is a fire if you go for a trekking or something like that, and then you have to generate a fire, then you start with a small spark, and with this spark, the fire is generated. In that way, you start with a memory which makes you happy. What is this memory? It can be a memory of you playing with a child, or you playing with puppies, or you playing with some kittens. That makes you joyous. You played with a child. How does it feel? Is it feel very kind of boring and depressing, or is it feel joyful? It feels joyful, no? If you play with a small child and they are smiling and you are looking at their eyes and they are smiling at you, how does it feel in your heart? Just feel this feeling. This is also called a feeling meditation. So your attention is there in the heart and where the feeling is there. You feel this feeling and say, may I be happy. So send this feeling to yourself first. So what you have, you can share. So first you send this feeling to yourself. Sometimes the memory which you are wanting to remember and which makes you happy may be unique to yourself. There was a student of ours who would be very happy seeing big trees. So he would remember the big tree, and that would make him happy. Some said that I feel very happy while remembering flowers. Some said that I feel very happy when I think of dolphins. My heart is filled with joy. So something may be unique to you that makes you feel very happy and joyous, which is a blameless joy. It is not an acquiring joy, it is not a possession joy. It's a joy which you feel when you kind of think of it. It is a kind of a joy which is filled up. It is like a child's pleasure. That is the joy you feel. Now, that joy, you remember that memory, put your attention on your heart, feel this feeling in your heart, and then first send it to yourself. For the first 10 minutes, you may say, may I be happy, and keep your attention on the heart. So 90% of your attention is on the feeling. 5% is on reminder. Sometimes the feeling is a little bit weaker, then you can remind yourself, may I be happy. The verbal component is 5%. 5% is visual. Not everybody is a visual person. You can kind of visualize a smiling face over here, or visualize what makes you happy. So this is what you do. But if you are not a visual person, don't worry about it. Okay, so 90% of your attention is there on this feeling which you feel, which makes you feel happy, and you say, may I be happy, and feel this feeling. Then you share this feeling. So to share this feeling, to make it easier, we will start with a spiritual friend. There are some qualities for the spiritual friend. One is that the spiritual friend is the same gender. If you are a male, male, if you are a female, female. This is done so that there are no misunderstandings. If you are sending it to the opposite gender, then there can be a misunderstanding of these feelings. That is the reason we send it to the same gender. So that is the only reason this instruction is there. Then the person should not be a family member. Why not a family member? Because family members, we may have a long history. And when we are thinking of the family members, then those negative things may also come. Think of a person you genuinely want to make him smile or her smile. That person is somebody you think that is a good person. I want to see him happy. May he be happy. May he smile. May he be and contented. So that is the feeling you have of that person. That person can be anybody in your circle of friends. That person should not be gravely ill or not in this world, that is he has passed away. Those persons you should not take. Those are the categories you can take later on after you have completed this course, but in the training period we have restricting you to a certain person who is reasonably healthy. That does not mean that he does not have any kind of diseases. He may have some kind of chronic illnesses and everything. That is not a problem. But he should not be at the deathbed or chronically means very ill or passed away or dead. So you have to select a friend. Certain times, only in a rare cases, if you cannot find a person of such that you want to make him feel happy, then you can take a person who you know of. That is, maybe there is somebody who is doing good work in your area, who is doing charity, who is doing social work, but that is as a last resort. The first preference would be somebody you know personally, a friend you want to make him happy. So that is the person you have to take. If you take that person, then you can stay with that person. You can kind of have a feeling which is good for that person. The sharing would be better. So you shake that person. Then you say, may my friend be happy. So what you have, you share. So it does not matter if this feeling is very faint or if this feeling is prominent. Don't have any preconceived notions about how this feeling should look like. You just remember the memory which makes you happy and see what is there. It may feel like, oh, it is a very soft feeling I have. I don't have a bright feeling or I don't have a glowing feeling. But don't have any kind of notions of what this feeling should be. Whatever is there, you share. So Sister Kema used to say that if I have this, I can share this. If I have this, I will share this. So what I have, I will share. So that is how you should see this feeling as whatever the feeling you have, you are sharing. So after you have sharing this feeling with your friend and you will notice that your attention is not there with your friend, your spiritual friend. You are now thinking about something else. Oh, office, I did not maybe hand over this file to this person, or I maybe the gas was open or something like that. Some memory will take your attention away. This memory will be of past, of future, or of the present. Whatever this memory is, there is a special way of coming back which distinguishes our meditation, which is called right effort or harmonious practice. We call it 6 R's to make it easier to remember. So first R is you recognize that you are not there with your spiritual friend or with the loving kindness. Then you release your attention. Releasing attention means you don't try to suppress it, you don't try to remove it, you don't try to change it. Let it be. If the memory is there, let the memory play itself. You remove your attention from it. Bring your attention over here, relax. Bring your attention to your smile, like lips, and re-smile. Bring it back, so it's return to the object of meditation. And repeat whenever it is required. Okay, that 6R has been mentioned over here in this booklet. If you want, you just look at this booklet. There is a chart given, 6R. Okay, so this will be the practice you will have to follow for some time. There is one other chart which is given over here, and behind that the description has been given. So you have to go through this booklet. The booklet has a lot of information about the practice. So in this period, please do not read anything or listen to anything. If you have to read anything, you just have to read this, and you will get to listen to the words of the Buddha over here, where we give every day we'll give a talk. So one day you may give a talk and one day I may give a talk. So we may both share the details of the teaching. So this will be a progress which is a gradual progress. So every day something else will be taught to you. So you will be getting more and more information and more instructions on the practice. So what you do is, whenever you recognize that your attention is moved away, fully moved away, then you release it, relax, re-smile, return, and repeat when it is needed. So sometimes what happens is the thought which was there is still there in the background, but you are come back to your spiritual friend. Half of your attention is there on your heart, half of your attention is there on this memory or this thought. Now, this thought which is there, don't try to change it or remove it. We are not after a perfect mind. We are not out after a quiet mind. Let that be over there till the time your attention again does not go and meet it. When again your attention comes over here, release, relax, re-smile and come back. And it may still be there over here. But after its energy is dissipated, then it may go away. And some other memory may come up. Till the time this memory does not take your attention away from the object of your meditation or your spiritual friend, you can let it play back in the background. Let your attention be over here in this space which is there. If you are able to see and be with your spiritual friend, then don't worry if in the side there is some memory which is playing. So we are not after ideal conditions. We are not after a quiet mind. Okay? We are after looking at how this is happening. Why are we looking at this? Why are we kind of looking at this thing? So we know certain characteristics of the mind. So there is this is done in a framework. One of the things we'll recognize is that when we are looking at our spiritual friend, our attention moves on its own. So we come to know that the attention which we think is me, mine, is impersonal. It is not in our control. It moves on our own. Second thing we'll realize is whatever is happening is impermanent. It is arising, passing away. Even if there is a busy mind, sometimes it will be, I will grade it so 1 to 10. So 1 is the busiest of the mind you can have, 1 is the calmest mind you can have. So certain times you will see that the mind is at 10, certain times you will see the mind is at 5, certain times you will see the mind is at 6. The mind also, busyness is also impermanent. It is sometimes more thoughts are there, sometimes less thoughts are there. You know, everything is impermanent. It is arising and passing away. The third thing you will know is your resistance to the reality. So the dukkha we call in Buddhism. Who has not heard the word dukkha? I have never no concept of dukkha. Everybody has heard the word dukkha, no? So what is it translated as? Sometimes it is translated as suffering. Sometimes it is translated incontinence. Sometimes it is given a visual image that you have a shopping cart. When you are taking a shopping cart, there is one wheel that does not work properly, and you have to kind of struggle with it. So that is explained. Buddha explained it in a like it can be sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair, beating your breast and becoming distraught. So it's a big range with which dukkha has been mentioned. Bhante Vimaransi makes it very easy. He says this is reality. Okay? And this is us trying to fight the reality. Now, when we fight the reality, what we create is dukkha. It is not the pain in itself which is dukkha. Okay? The suffering we create is because we fight the pain. We say, why is this pain? Why me? I am a good person. Why the pain is coming to me? What did I do? How can I change this pain? And how can I make it go away? So that is what we are resisting what is there in the present. The present, there is a thing which is reality, and we come over here fighting the reality. We come over here saying, I will change the reality. And when we try to change the reality, what we create is the dukkha. So we know from this process what is arising in the present and what is passing away. Want to add something? So when you are clear about what is happening in the present, then you are more clear about how to work with it. So again, you come back to your spiritual friend, you keep your attention on your spiritual friend, and if you feel that this feeling which is there has been kind of changed a little, then you can remind yourself, may my friend be happy. So 90% is on your attention. You don't use this phrase or verbalization as a mantra. You don't go, may my friend be happy, may my friend be happy, may my friend be happy, may my friend be happy. Don't use that. Don't use the visualization also too much. Like, oh, I am visualizing my friend happy, he is going over here, he is going to the movies, he is having popcorn, he is watching a very fun movie and he is laughing. Don't make the visualization also too much. So the visualization has to be also just kind of visualizing your friend happy, and maybe in your heart he is there in the heart, and whatever feeling you are feeling, maybe the soft feeling you are feeling, the warm feeling you are feeling, just envelop him with this feeling. So what you have, you share with your friend. You imagine yourself sitting in a couch and your friend comes up and you are eating chips. So what you'll do? You just give the chips to your friend. No, I have chips. I'll give. If you are having popcorn, you'll just give the popcorn to your friend. In the same way, whatever feeling you have, you are just sharing with your friend. So again, what would happen is you will realize your attention has moved away. Again, you release it, relax, re-smile, and return back. When your attention is moved, don't directly come back to this feeling. If you come back to this feeling, you are missing certain steps, and those steps have importance. Why is those steps are there? One is when you recognize, you first what you do is try to suppress what is there. This is not about suppression. Whenever you suppress something, that grows. Why? So for that you have to understand nutriment. You have to understand food. What is the food we have? We have food is, we have a rice or roti or bread, or that, those is our food. What is the food of the thoughts which comes up? Attention. So attention is the food for the thought. So when we are giving it attention, we are feeding it. Then we try to suppress it. What happens is sometimes it suppresses, then it comes back stronger. You know, in your life also there are certain things you think, I don't want to think about it, but you are more and more thinking about it. There was a story of I think Tolstoy. He told the kids, don't think about a pink elephant or something like that, and then they were like always thinking about pink elephant, because they say, I will not think about pink elephant, but what comes in the mind is a pink elephant. So you cannot do that. You cannot fight with that. So you have to let it be. And when that happens, you release it, you come over here. Because whenever there is a thought which takes away your attention, what is there present at that time? There is craving present. I want to look at it. I want to think that. I want to kind of experience that. So that craving is there. That craving is reflected in the body. How? How is it craving reflected in the body? As tension and tightness. So there is a amount of tension created when your attention moves away. That's the reason what you do is you relax. One second, I'll just put this on, this vibration off, because that is wanting my attention. Everybody understand this? Mobiles always want your attention. So we are taking away your mobile, but some people need the mobile, so I have allowed some people to have the mobile. So just be aware that don't get distracted by their kind of conversation, because some people may need them for some reason, you know. So that's the reason. So what we are doing is we are learning how nutriment works. Where you pay attention, that grows. But Buddha says that whatever you think and ponder upon, that becomes your inclination of your mind. If you think and ponder upon something good, then good things will come. So if you think and ponder about something bad, bad things will happen. You see that there are people in our life also, in our office also, they are always, certain times they are always kind of negative, and it seems that they are also getting into bad situations because they are getting attracted to the negative. Certain people are kind of painfully kind of positive, cheerful, we just want to punch them in the face sometimes. But those people seem to be happy go lucky. That is the kind of phrase, you know. The phrase is happy go lucky. So if they are happy, they are thinking positive things, luck also favors them, because that is where they are feeding their attention and they are feeding their energy. So where you put your attention, you create that. If you are putting attention on worry, then you are creating more worry. If you are creating, putting your attention on solutions, then you are creating solutions. Attention kind of takes you where you want to go. So one example of attention is there was a group of people who came to a dirt bike park. It was an obstacle course. They had small planks and they had to go on dirt bikes on this thing. So the only instruction the instructor gave was wherever you want to go, keep the attention over there and the bike will follow. And then nobody fell down because everybody followed the instruction. And that was a different kind of documentary. But I understood from that documentary is that how does that attention kind of apply to the whole bike. You can say that I am walking and my attention is there, but the bike also follows where the attention is there. The whole body and everything follows the whatever was the balancing it had to be done. Some planks would be like this; they would go on the bike and the plank would go down, and then they would go on another thing. So it was not a very easy obstacle course, but they did everything because the instructor gave the best instruction he could give. You wherever you want to go, you could keep your attention. If you want to go in this plank, keep your attention on the plank. So what we are keeping our attention is on spiritual friend and sending him metta. As much as possible, you have to keep that attention and keep on going about putting that attention. Whenever your attention is moved away, you release, relax, re-smile, and come back and repeat when needed. So one thing you have to do is whenever you start the sitting for the next few days, go through this instructions once. Go through these instructions because this is also a matter of habit. Okay, you are creating a new habit. When you are creating a new habit, it takes some time. It takes some time, and you should not blame yourself also if you are not able to do it. But when you are doing something new, you also need guidance. Okay, so we will be guiding you. We will have daily interviews with you. Okay, in our daily interviews, we will ask you some questions. We will guide you how to do it. So, but what happens is you have to first do it to know what you are doing right and what you are doing wrong. So tomorrow we will have no interviews. But after that, we will have daily interviews. So we will break it into two groups. One group will come to me, A group, and B group will go to you. Then the B group can come to me, and the A group can go to you. So every alternate days, you will meet us. Okay, and we will guide you because we have a little different style of speaking, different style of instructions. So we will get benefit of both. That's a kind of the aim of this. So you will get instructions every day how to do it. And we'll talk about interviews tomorrow. More about how the interviews will work, how the interviews will able to kind of guide you. Okay. And what are the questions? So these are questions and everything is given over here. So we will give you a method to kind of know the questions, how to record your sessions and everything. So we will go in deep detail about the interviews tomorrow. Okay, but you have to remember that there will be interviews tomorrow. You have to practice, and we will also be doing some guided meditation in the morning. You will be doing some guided meditation. Yeah, so Sarah will or you will do some guided meditation also. So guided meditation may help you kind of know. So for any old students, we are saying that start wherever you were. Okay, don't start at the spiritual friend, but wherever you had left last time. So that time, that stage you have to start. So you don't have to start where you are now, but wherever you had left off, you start there. So all students will start with whatever instructions were there. So now this meditation will also progress. So as you understand your process of doing the meditation, as you understand your mind, you will be able to stay with your spiritual friend more. You will be able to recognize how the mind is moving, how you can let go and come back to your spiritual friend. So this process you will be more and more better. And when at a stage when you are doing that, we will give you another instructions, and then we will give you some other practice. to do. So this practice will also change. So everything is a process of learning and growing. So that is something which we will do. So is there any questions regarding the instructions? You want to?
It might be useful if I just summarize what you said.
Okay.
There's a lot of information. Yeah. So just a couple of things around the orientation. Just
On it, then will take some time.
okay. So welcome everybody. Just a few details about the orientation. First of all, we ask you always to come to the practice session in the morning. Okay. Now, if you're not feeling well, but not bedridden, come along. You can just sit and watch. You will learn a lot by sitting and watching. So please make every effort to be there in the morning. Come to the talks in the evening and come to the interviews. Right. Now, those of you who give up your phones will have a distinct advantage over those who keep them in your practice. So I urge you to give up your phones. Okay? It is a real advantage. If it's a necessity that can't be overcome to keep it, then talk to Bandy. But we want you to make as much progress in the 10 days. Your progress will be easier without your phones.
And you can give the emergency contact. So if there is something, your families can always contact us.
Okay, and then just a question around courtesy. Please stand when a teacher arrives in the room. You're not extending the respect and courtesy to them, but to the Dharma that comes through them. Okay, so it's a respect for the Dharma. And also at lunchtime, please wait for Bhante to have been served first. Okay, and then everyone else can.
Oh, my lunch I'm decided to have in my room. Okay, so
Okay.
you don't have that,
So
but you can wait for Hugh as he is the teacher.
The overriding advice is to smile. Smile into everything, not just your practice, but everything you do. Put aside your previous practice. See the tendency to go into that, particularly at times of uncertainty. Come back and stay with the uncertainty and bring up your spiritual friend. Uncertainty is very helpful. Any preoccupations that come up, just put them in a box beside you and say, I'll open that box at the end of the retreat. Anything that's really important will still be in the box at the end of the retreat. It is a silent retreat. You've got wonderful accommodation, but the walls are thin. You will be heard if you're talking. Not talking is an act of generosity. It's an act of generosity to others on the retreat, but it is also an act of generosity to yourself. Because if you talk, you won't hear what's going on in your mind. And we really want you to hear what's going on in your mind. Because that's the foundation stone of the practice. So please don't talk. If you need to refer to any of the staff here, that's fine. Or myself or Mante or Sarah, that's fine. Okay? But between each other, please avoid that.
One thing Bante used to say is that when you talk, you disturb your mind and you disturb the other person's mind. And also the minds of anybody who is listening. As he kind of mentioned, the walls are thin and the voice over here can travel a long distance. I myself was surprised when I was talking or in the dining area, and when I came up, I could still hear everybody talking, and I said, "Oh my God, my voice was coming over there in the library, in the back of the library." So it is something with acoustics or something like that. But just be mindful that your voice can go a long distance. So and also there is a contract between us. There is social contract saying that this is a silent retreat. It's called a noble silence, so the silence has to be maintained. But there are, as he said, there are areas where you can speak. Is that you can ask questions. Feel free to ask questions. Then, when the instructions are there in yoga, there you can kind of ask questions and give feedback. And then, in the interviews where we are there, if you are facing any problems, then you can speak to the office. Okay, so just maintain that in other places. Because I think there are few friends also over here who have come with other. So just in this time, just be have a distance.
And remember, you can talk with your eyes.
No, you cannot talk with your
Exactly.
eyes.
Just remember, all communication, okay? Uh, you're not ignoring somebody. We have a social contract. Nobody is going to take offense, okay? This is a feeling meditation. It's not a thinking meditation. If you find yourself thinking and speculating about your experience, use the 6 R's. Your understanding, your insight will come from your feeling. Loving kindness is a wonderful practice, but it's amazing how resistant we are to wish ourselves loving kindness. If you notice that in yourself, don't miss yourself out. Be kind to yourself and wish yourself well. You do deserve it. Please switch any mobile phones off if you're retaining them. Put them on vibrate or silent.
No vibration also, because vibration can also be because last time there was a person who his mother was sick or something like that. I allowed him the phone, but the vibration was kind of disturbing the others. So when if you are having your phone silent and vibrate, and only those people who have spoken to me. I have three people who have spoken to me. So those people, they are going to keep the phones. But anybody who has not spoken to me should submit the phone. If you have a reason, then just speak to me.
Anything that forms an obstruction to your practice is actually your friend because it shows you where your wants and likes and dislikes are. And that is very important information. So if you feel something is getting in the way of your practice, just look at that carefully. Who is getting in the way? Okay? We have, at times, our body can be uncomfortable. And if you're not familiar with sitting in meditation, you may experience that. If that discomfort lasts after your meditation period for 10, 15, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, either change your posture or come and see one of us. But if your pain disappears rise almost as soon as you get up, then this is meditation pain. It's been a distraction, and you've done well to ignore it, sigsar it, and come back. So don't act on the first instance of pain. Give yourself 5 more minutes, and then another 5 minutes, and possibly a third 5 minutes before you decide to move.
One thing, the distinction between what he is talking about is the meditation pain and the physical pain is very important in your meditation. Because what happens is when the first instance of pain, we try to kind of move or kind of get up. So one thing is that you should not move in your sitting. That time, if you are not moving, then you are able to see how your obstruction is there. Okay, one thing you have to first do is not kind of move when you are sitting. So you know when your mind is kind of trying to move you. So you start with a this thing that determination that you don't move. So you should not change your posture. You should not wiggle around. You should not move. And if you had to move, then you have to get up. So that thing you have to start with this kind of determination not to move. And then if you feel pain and you had to get up, then you examine if that pain goes away. If it is a meditation pain, it will go away immediately. And if it is a physical pain, then it will persist while walking 5 minutes, 6 minutes.
Okay, I think that's as much as I want to sort of recap.
Okay. So you can ask questions also. Is there some points you are not able to understand, or there is some clarification you want? Yes. No, what you said? See, when you start with a spiritual friend, you remember a friend which you really want to make happy, okay, and you want to see him smile, okay. When you are remembering a friend you want to make see happy and see him smile, then you just remember that person and say that may he be happy. So you're not trying to push this feeling towards that person, okay. You are just trying to say that whatever I feel, he feels. And to just make it more easier for you to stay with it, if you are a visual person, then you keep that friend's image in your heart, okay. And then you continue sending the feeling of metta to in the heart to that person, okay. And then certain times what will happen is your attention will move away, you recognize, then you release, relax, re-smile, and come back. And you keep on doing this. And something wrong? Okay. So one other thing is that when you break the sitting, so you have to have a sitting of minimum 30 minutes. Okay. When you sit, you have to have a sitting of minimum 30 minutes. If you open your eyes and see the clock and see that it is not 30 minutes, then you continue your sitting. Okay. So you have to make sure that you sit for 30 minutes. And if at the end of the 30 minutes, as you just mentioned just now, that you give yourself a 5 minute extension, you give yourself a 5 minute extension, you give yourself a 5 minute extension, and after that, the third extension, you are not able to sit, then you get up and you start doing walking meditation. In the walking meditation, what you do is you keep this feeling with you and sharing with your friend and keep walking. So if you are sitting, then you walk for 15 minutes. If you are sitting for say half an hour, 1 hour, then you get up, you walk for 15 minutes. If you are sitting longer, then you walk longer. It is also the normal pace. The walking which is there is done at a normal pace. And Sarah and you will also teach you how to do it with the energetic body, and how to kind of do it with the principles of Sukhita Yoga. They will kind of give you that information also. So what you do is start by determining that you will sit for 30 minutes without moving, without changing posture, and start first by remembering a event which makes you happy. So for the first 10 minutes, which feels like 10 minutes, you don't have to open your eyes and look at the clock. Whatever it feels like 10 minutes, you send it to yourself saying, may I be happy, and feel this feeling. Then you share it with your spiritual friend. As long as you can sit, you sit. But don't sit shorter than a 30-minute sitting. If you can sit for 45 minutes, sit for 45 minutes. If you can sit for an hour, sit for an hour. If somebody can sit for 2 hours, sit for 2 hours. When you want to get up, that time you see why you are getting up. You have to ask yourself, why am I getting up? Can I sit longer? Am I getting up for some reason which is not valid? Then you get up. If you want to get up, then after giving yourself 3 extensions, you get up and you do walking meditation. After you do walking meditation, you come back and sit. So we have given you enough time to rest. Okay. So normally we will end the session every night at 10. And morning, when are you getting up? 5:30. 5:30. If you go to sleep at 10 and get up at 5:30, how much time you have? 7.5 hours. Okay. So you get 7.5 hours of sleep time. So let's say that you have 7 hours of sleep time. Then after the morning session, you get 1 hour for breakfast and rest before you come back at 9. So you be back at 8 and you come back at 9. So you can have breakfast in 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then you have half an hour to do the chores if you want to do. You want to rest, you can rest. Then you come back. Then you get a break for lunch. Okay. In the lunch, you get about 1.5 hours time. In this 1.5 hours time, you can have your lunch and have a nap of a 1 hour. So you can get at least 8 hours of sleep in the day. So the rest of the time which you can get some time after the coffee also. So coffee you get a half an hour break. So all the rest of the time you have to use for your practice, because you are getting time for rest and time for breakfast, time for lunch, time for coffee, and there is some other time also you are getting in between all those sessions. So you have to spend rest of the time in meditation. Once you break the meditation, don't go here and there, think here, that and this. But just when you get up from the walking, you do the sitting meditation. After you uh, complete the sitting meditation, you do the walking meditation. So you continue this practice, and that will kind of give you more progress, because you will learn more and more. As you again mentioned, that hindrances are not your enemies, they are your friends, because they show you where your attachments lie. If you are getting more and more bothered by the pain, then you see that how this is my attachment. What is my relationship with that pain? So you kind of know what is happening with the pain and how you are reacting to the pain. So that is how you kind of understand what is happening with your attachments to the pain. If you are kind of getting bothered by sound, say, then you are knowing what is your relationship with what is happening outside. How are your attachments to the perfect conditions? Over here, it is not a very quiet place. It is a secluded place, but there can be a lot of sounds. There can be sounds of birds, there can be sounds of vehicle, there can be sounds of visitors, there can be sound of construction or renovations they are doing. So there can be a lot of sounds which can be coming up. Then the weather is there. Sometimes it is very cold, sometimes it can be hot, sometimes the rain is there, it is very damp. So all of those things which are there coming as a hindrance, you see how your relationship is there with that. How you can recognize this, release, relax, re-smile and come back. So whatever happens, you just let that go. So when you are sitting, you do the sitting meditation, and then you do the walking meditation. You do walking and sitting meditation in tandem. in that sense. So when you have some certain questions, so you can ask at the in our this thing evening talks and in interviews. Okay, and one of the benefits of asking questions is that you will clarify for yourself and you will also clarify for others. Okay, so please ask questions if you have for the thing, and anytime when I am speaking and you have some thing you do not understand, you raise your hand and ask the questions. So in our talks also, every day when they are having a talk, what you can do is you can when I'm reading the suttas or Hugh is reading the sutta, then at that time you can stop.
Okay, so we're going to sit comfortably and we're going to remember. You can have your eyes open to begin with because I'm going to just guide you a little through the body now. Whether you're sitting on a chair now like me or cross-legged, it doesn't matter. And if you prefer to move because you've been sitting for a while on a cushion to a chair, please feel free. We're going to be sitting for about half an hour. And what's important is we begin to, I'm stooping over here.
It's quite clear.
I'm just speaking to you though, that's all. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much. It'll settle in a moment. And this one, does that one move to go up? Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay, so we want to begin our practice with a very kindly and relaxed attitude. So I always like to begin just tuning into my environment, in fact, rather than immediately shutting my eyes. And I just want to be sensitive to the space I'm in and start to feel through my body into the ground. So it's a very relaxed way of tuning out of all the visual stimulus and the connections in the room and everywhere we've been today, and very gently withdrawing from that and feeling settled through the body. So you want to start feeling your body on the ground rather than just quickly closing your eyes. Just have a very relaxed way in to lowering the lids. So you lower the lids, you feel down through your body, whether you're sitting on a chair or on a cushion. And you become aware of your sit bones on the floor, the whole contact, all the points of contact with your legs and the ground. And if you're sitting in a chair, you feel your feet on the ground. Just notice how fast your mind wants to check in and move on. And just exhale, release, relax. Just start to look after yourself, softening, smiling. You might feel your toes, outside edges of your feet, heels, sitting on a chair or sitting on a cushion. Just give yourself time to feel the edges of your feet in contact with the ground. See how you don't need to rush. The body is here, the earth is here. And we're tuning in to listen. And as you tune in to listen, remind yourself you can softly smile as you begin your retreat. Remind yourself it's a looking after you practice. You're going to learn to observe all that's going on. Be very kind in your relating. So let's take a little look at the inner thigh rotation. So since we're tuning in through the body at this point, see if you can reference the whole length of your thigh, from the hip bone to the knee, and then send an instruction, mental instruction, to lean into that tiny inner thigh rotation. Don't worry if your body doesn't know how to follow the instruction. At this point, the intention is enough. And then we're going to place one hand or both on the lower abdomen, so just below the navel. Feel the warmth of your hands or hand. And then as you inhale, very gently expand in towards the warmth of your hands. And you begin to feel your spine lengthen. Space appear around the ribs, space around the solar plexus, and a little lightness in all directions around your heart. And then as you next exhale, release the inner shoulders, and you can start to smile into this space. So often we're inhabiting cramped bodies, cramped minds, and we don't even notice the space inside us. So be present with the space that you can feel right now. Welcome the space around the ribs. Welcome the presence of support at your center. Welcome the feeling of lightness that appears around your heart, and release the inner shoulders. As you release the inner shoulders, you can start to feel that there's space between the shoulders and your ears. So often we don't even notice the length of our neck. We don't know there's even any capacity for the shoulders to release. Open to the release. Open to your natural length. And feel that very gentle connection through to the crown of your head. Just simply smile and breathe. Start to notice as you tune in to listening like this, there's nothing that needs to be done. There's nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to change. Be curious if your mind is already wandering off. This is what we want to see in meditation. There are all these random movements, and we're not actually in control of them. They're just happening by themselves. Set the direction of recognizing these movements, releasing, relaxing, softening, smiling. This is going to help us come back into balance over and over again. So let's bring one hand up to the heart now. Just as we can feel the support at our abdomen, that sense of centering, supporting, so that our spine can naturally lengthen rather than grip and hold. Now we're going to feel the warmth of our hand around the heart. Sometimes it can be helpful to feel the physical warmth of our hand here. So we can begin to ease into a sense of openness and warmth in our heart. Softly smile. We've heard this evening how in our practice we bring up a very simple, easeful, joyful memory. And that's what we're going to do right now. And it serves as a bridge into a warm and easeful feeling. So choose something that is relevant to you. And it's often suggested that we pick something from the natural world, or you heard this evening about the joy of a puppy or a kitten. Something that's effortlessly light. So we're using the mental connection to seed the feeling inside us. Keep releasing the inner shoulders, keep rotating in with the inner thighs, keep feeling the support of your center. And feel the flow of your breath. You don't need to hold on to any of these aspects of being, but you can tune in. Feel the contact with the ground. Recognize how it's a sense of support that's present. And then feel self when you no longer need the contact of your hands. This will be personal to all of you. There are some times where I might keep my hands in place for quite some time, and other times I'm ready to release almost immediately. It's the same with the memory. You don't need to hold on to the memory. The memory we use as a bridge to feel the feeling. Start to see how your intuition is with you to support you. Now then, when you release your hands, they can rest in your lap or just above the knees. Soften around your brain. So ease into this feeling. Just gently lift the corners of your eyes and your mouth. Feel how you can look after yourself through the way you're listening. Stability is here, support is here, space is present. We become available to listen to any movement of mind. You can start to see we have a choice not to hold on and spin the thoughts, roll with the stories. Instead, ease back, releasing, relaxing around the energy that's propelling them, softening, re-smiling, rebalancing, feeling that internal support, expanding again from the center, and then relaxing the inner shoulders once more. Restoring our connection with that inner feeling of warmth and lightness in and around our heart. Then we allow this feeling to be itself, for the warmth to radiate through our body, the lightness to expand. Noticing any tendency to contain mind. And release and relax, soften around the edges of any tightness you're meeting. Soften and smile. Feel the center of support, the natural expansion up the front of the spine, the warmth of loving kindness in your heart. And allow it to be itself, opening, expanding, radiating through the whole of your body. May I be well and happy. May my mind be peaceful and calm. And my heart open, radiant, and accepting. If you find you've wandered off again, have a light touch. These are just movements of mind. Doesn't mean it's a bad meditation. And release, relax, soften away from that movement so it doesn't hold you. Rebalance, soften and smile. And feel yourself reconnecting into that warmth and lightness in your heart. Giving it your attention so it's free to expand. Notice where there is judgment, self-criticism. There is also tension. Tension responds very well to loving kindness. Release, relax around the edges of any tension you're meeting. Soften and re-smile. So I'm going to give you a choice now, which is either to remain with a feeling of loving kindness with yourself and releasing and relaxing around any resistance you feel. If it feels appropriate at this point and there is something to share, this is when we invite a spiritual friend to be with us. Now it's no feeling to push out or force. It's an invitation to bring someone to mind, and to give them the opportunity to share in this feeling. Be curious about any impetus to move. Keep releasing, relaxing, softening and re-smiling. With support, space, meet the resistance kindly. If your mind is wandering off again, recognize the movement. This is the remembering, this is the clearer seeing. So be pleased, however busy your mind is, whatever it throws up. Now you're beginning to see. And then release. Don't follow the thought. Relax. Ease back. Soften around the edges of any tension. And then re-smile. Re-center. Once more feel the warmth, the lightness in your heart. And let it be expansive and radiant for yourself. And if you've invited a spiritual friend in, allow this to be shared. Softly smile. Lift the corners of your eyes and your mouth. Taking a deliberate breath in and out, releasing the inner shoulders down the spine, rotating inwards the inner thighs. Feel the whole of your body in contact with your chair or the ground. Take another breath in, expand from your center. Feel all the outside edges of your body. You're gently going to release the body side to side. So lead from your center. Just let the shoulders relax, the neck and head loosen. And take the time to come back to stillness. Draw your center in towards your spine, but not pulling it in. We're going to bring this practice to a close with 3 breaths. First breath in. We can say in our minds and hearts, may I be well and happy. May my mind be peaceful and calm. And my heart open, radiant and accepting. And our next breath. Relax the inner shoulders as you breathe out. May those we share this practice with be well and happy. And may their minds be peaceful and calm. And may their hearts be open, radiant and accepting. And then as we would wish for ourselves and each other, we don't want to contain this. So for our third breath, may all sentient beings be well and happy, and may their minds be peaceful, calm, and their hearts open, radiant and accepting. Thank you very much. Simply choose at this point whether you simply want to stay in meditation or whether it's time for a period of walking or simply tiring. Don't want to create the impression you will have to leave, but you're free to choose as is appropriate for you.
So, may suffering ones be suffering free, and the
and the
fear struck
fear-struck
fearless
fearless
be.
be.
May the
May the
grieving
grieving
shed
shed
all
all
grief,
grief,
and may
may
all
all
being
beings
find
find
relief.
relief.
May
May all
all beings
beings
share
share
this
this
merit
merit
that
that
we
we
have
have
thus
thus
acquired
acquired
for
for
the
the
acquisition
acquisition
of
of
all
all
kinds of
kinds of
happiness.
happiness.
May beings inhabiting
Inhabiting
space and
space and
earth,
earth,
devas
devas
and
and
nagas
nagas
of
of
mighty
mighty
power,
power,
share this merit of ours.
may
May
they
they long
long
protect the
protect the
Buddha's
Buddha's
dispensation.
dispensation.
Sadhu, sadhu.